Y'all ready? Oh, I'm so excited. Are you so excited? Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can make this work. Okay, guess what we're doing today? We are learning to solve addition problems. Oh, you look so excited. You know what? We're going to know when we are successful when you can model the problem on the number path. Remember, we talked a minute ago about what the number path was, right? So at your tables with your partner, you're going to have a number path. You're going to model it on there. So modeling with your chips or your dry erase markers, and you're going to record it on the number bond. Y'all remember these from kindergarten?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll talk about those as we go. So we're going to have an addition problem we're going to work to solve, and I want you and your partner to model it with the number path and cubes and to record on the number bond, okay? Remember, part of our expectations were to work together and to share the manipulative tools, not toys, right? Okay, so let's see what our problem is that we have to solve. How many people play sports or play on a team? So you ever played on a team where it's all boys or all girls? Yeah, sometimes it's all boys, sometimes it's all girls. Well, this team, they have boys and girls on the team. And this team, there are 7 girls and 2 boys on the team. What I need you and your partner to figure out with your math tools today is how many people are on the team altogether. Think you can do that? So remember, our success criteria though, while some of you are like, I think I know the answer already. We've got to model it, and we've got to record it on the number bond, okay? You ready? I'm very excited. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to your tables or your desk and get with your partner. So if your partner is moving their chair up with you or just standing by your desk is fine too. Then I'm going to be coming by asking you some questions. Start.
I don't have a. There's nothing.
So my understanding is you guys were all going to be one group, you 3, and that you were going to be partners with him. So he might want to come up here with you, and you're going to come up here with him and be partners. Okay? Bring your chair. Come on up. And you are going to bring your chair up with her, and you're going to bring your chair up with him. Would you do that, please? Come on up. Perfect. You bring your chair. You can just stand, whatever works for you all. And remember, we're solving our problem. There are 7 girls and 2 boys on the team. You have to model and record on the number line. So I'm going to come by and ask you some questions once you get going.
I don't know.
Oh, well, let's talk. Can you go back? So what are we trying to do then? Can you boys come over and help our partner? What are we trying to figure out today?
Okay, so 1, 2,
What about it? What are we trying to figure out today?
7, 8, 9, 10.
They're having one. Can you help them out?
I did.
Well, that's okay. Let's see if we can solve this problem. Have you ever played on a sports team before?
So 1, I'm about.
You're about to start. So on this team, there are 7 girls, excuse me, 7 girls and 2 boys. How many people are on the team? What did you guys do to model on this number path? What did you do to use these to show me how many people are on the team? How many boys are there? 2 boys? Can you show me 2 with your hands? Can you come over and work with your finger, please? Can you show me 2? Can you come over? Can you show me how many girls are there? 7. Can you show me 7? And can you help you and your partner work together to figure out how many are all together? Can you help me that for me? And I'm going to come back and check on you, see how you're doing. So he's going to show 7. You're going to show 2. Oh my goodness. Talk to me about what you're doing here. Tell me about your model.
So these are the 7 girls. When it goes to 7, the 2 boys are right here. So that's not.
Okay. And you got a dry erase marker? Yeah. Can you pull that out for me? Oh, good. Pull that out.
I just want to write that.
Oh, you're gonna write that. You're gonna let him write that since you did this. But first, what I'd like you to do is, can you just kind of circle what you just said? Where are the 2 boys? Okay. Could you like draw a circle? You could write on this. Nice. So, oops, that's okay. You got your circle. Perfect. So tell me how many boys are there? I mean, I'm sorry. How many people are on the team? 9. How did you know that? Okay, so how did you know it was 9? Besides, I mean, I know it's on there, but how did you figure out you didn't know that was 9? So what if you didn't have a number pack?
By counting them all.
Okay, so if you were gonna count them, how would you count them? Why did she say put 9 right there?
Because it's the big number.
Oh. So if you guys talked about parts and wholes, yeah. So if your parts make your whole, where are your parts on? Ah, your 2 parts, yeah. And so if your whole is 9. So what I'm wondering is, how could you count this to figure out there were 9?
Because I counted them by order and the line.
Okay, I gotcha. So here's what I want you guys to talk about. Is there another way you could have counted that would be a little easier to figure out the whole? Okay, I want you to talk to your partner and I'm gonna come back and check on you. All right, talk to me about your model. Why did you put a 2 here?
9.
Okay, why are you putting 7 there?
You count that. Because there's
7 girls and 2 boys.
9.
And what are you doing with those 2 numbers?
You already put the 9. Yeah. So did it again. Whoa.
How many total people are on the team?
Oh.
9. How'd you know that?
The other way. It looks like right there.
It's under there. So what if you didn't have the number pack and you had to figure out how many were on the team? What would you do now?
Since there's 7 dollars, I should have put it the slots there. I would just put them on.
Okay, so you would just count each one of them till you got to 9. Is there another way you could have counted them without just counting every one of them? Could you have started at 7 to count? If you knew there were 7, why not your 7 in the number line? And your whole.
Remember, we're counting with them.
What was your whole? 9. Can you? Yeah. And so if you knew there were 7 and that there were 2 more, is there a way you could show that with your model to help you count on? So if you knew there were 7 and you had to go 2 more, how could you figure out the total without counting them all? Y'all to talk about that. We're gonna come back together. All right. Remember, part of our success criteria today is to record on the number bond. We're going to work on your number bonds here while I ask you some questions. So tell me about your model. What have you done here? And the boys. So if you're looking at the number bond, where would you put the girls and the boys total? How many boys were there? 2. Okay, so why are you putting the 2 there? Oh, you're writing the 7. Why are you putting the 7 there? Okay, the 7 comes first, you said. And then the 2. So in this number bond, what did these 2 circles represent? Do you remember the words parts and wholes from kindergarten? No, you don't remember? So if you were, how many total boys and girls are on the team? How many total boys and girls are on the team? Okay, how many total is that? How can you figure out how many are on there? He says there's 8. He said there's 9. Oh, there's 9. So he counted all of them, right? He counted every single block. Is there another way you could have found out that there were 9 besides counting all the blocks? Talk to your neighbors about that. Go ahead and put that in your home. Tell me about your number pack. And 7 groups. So how many total are on the team? 9. So if you were looking at your number bond, which are the parts and which is the whole? Which of these is the parts and which is the whole? So he's saying these are parts. Why is he saying that? Why isn't this a part? Oh, we got about 1 more minute.
Well, we already done.
What do you do with the two parts to find the whole? What do you do with the two parts? You put them together. Okay, so the big number is what? 9. Can you do that for me? Go ahead and show that. Here's what I'm wondering. What if we didn't have a number pad? The number pad got put over there. And you had to figure out how many boys and girls were on it. So what you do to figure out the total, you knew there were 7 and 2. I want y'all to talk about that. How did you figure that out if you didn't have it? Okay? Let's talk about these two groups.
I did not know
Okay, well that's okay. We're going to talk about it. So talk to me about comps. Let's look at what we got here between the two groups. So talk to me about what you know. You knew there were 7 girls and 2 boys on the team. Can you show me your 7 girls and your 2 boys here? Where are your 7 girls? Where are your 7 girls in your mom?
I have 7 and then I added 2 more. And then 9.
7. So that's your 7 girls, right? Is that what you're saying? And then where are your 2 boys? Right beside that. So let me pull it down. Just so we can see. There's your 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Where's your 2 girls? I mean, I'm confused. Boys. Boys. Oh, wait, how did you know it was 9? What did you do to do that so quickly? Oh, but you said there were 7, and then you put 2 down here, and you go, it's 9. How'd you know that?
I just know math.
You just know math. So how did you figure that out in your head? If you weren't just knowing it, how would you figure that out? You count on your fingers? Did you count? Okay, let's see it.
5, 7, 8, 9. It's 9.
Okay, so you had 5 and then 4 more. You got 9. How many do we have here? Look, how many do we have here? You said 8. You agree? How do we prove it? 7. So this is 7. How many are over here? 2. So what are you going to do to find the total with these 2 parts? What are you going to do to find the total? So you counted them all. So you put them together, didn't you? So I want you and your partner to talk about where do they go in this parts and wholes map. You have your parts that you put together to make your whole. So what numbers are you going to write on this map? Y'all work together and figure out what numbers you're going to write. Right back. All right, so you said you started at something and went somewhere to find your total. What did you say?
I started at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a 7 and then 9. 2.
Okay.
And how it was is that I knew what 7 plus 2 is. So I just put 1, 7, 8, 9.
So there's 9 total on the tape. Would you agree? So you counted them all to do that.
We both.
Yeah.
We took turns.
You took turns. That's awesome. That's what good mathematicians do. So let me ask you a question. Can you find the total without counting every single cube?
By just knowing.
By just knowing. What if you knew the 7? You knew that there were 7 boys, girls on the team, and that's what you knew. How could you figure out how many are total on the team now if you knew there were 7? What could you do?
7 and then.
Can you show that with your cubes? No, that's where we're starting. We have 7 girls. Now you said you were doing something with the cubes. Go ahead. Do it. What were you doing? You said 7. Can you put a cube on there? Oh, can you put 1 cube on there for me? So when you're thinking about this, you said you could go 7 and then just think 2 more. Is that what you were thinking? Yeah. So if you were doing, I'm gonna take it the right direction. 7 and 2 more, which is easier? Counting every single one of them or saying 7, 8, 9?
Saying 7, 8.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's come back together. I'm gonna have all of you leave your stuff at your tables, and if you would come back down to the floor and sit where you were when we started. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show some solutions that you all had out and about.
Okay, we're gonna have to push it. Wait, my turn. Keep it like that. We're just gonna.
Okay, remember our learning target today was to solve an addition problem. And then you guys were supposed to model with your number path and show it on the number bond. I want you to turn and talk to your neighbor. How do you feel about meeting that success criteria? Were you able to do that? Talk to your neighbor.
We got 7 girls.
Okay, come back with me. So I saw that many of you were using the number path to model. So were you successful with that with your partner? Why is this not popping up? Oh, it's not popping yet. We're gonna give it a minute. Hopefully this will come on. And you also were recording on your number bond. Some of you were able to do that. Some of you hadn't gotten to that yet. When you got to that point. It's working. Awesome. Oh, now let's see if this one can find her pictures. Okay, are you ready for this? Oh my goodness, I can't even. Okay, we want to flip this one so you can see it. Okay. Can someone set the timer for 8 minutes? Okay, so I want us to look at this model that one of our groups did. Y'all see this? See what they're doing here? So remember, our problem today was that there were 7 girls on the team, 2 boys. And we were trying to figure out how many were on the team altogether. So look at this number path that your friends have done. And I want you to think about it. See how they circled this right here? I'm wondering, why do you think they circled that? What do you think this represents? Why did your partners do that? Turn and talk to that neighbor that you're sitting by and talk about what does this show and why did they circle those 2?
Because 2 boys and 7 girls. And the 2 boys.
Why would they circle the 2?
So one was
That show from the problem. Yeah. What does the 2 show?
every 7 girls are on the side.
Remember in the problem there were 7 girls and 2 boys. So what is the 2 represent? What does the 2 represent? In the problem, remember? How many girls were there?
7.
Oh, so let's come back together. So look at this. So why do you think they put all these cubes up on their number path like that? What are you thinking? Yeah. Oh, so you think the reason these are circled is representing the 2 boys? What do you think? That's your thought too? Because in our problem, how many boys were there? 2. And do you think this could be representing the 2 boys? So if that's true, what is this?
7 girls.
Oh, it's the 7 girls. So I want you to turn and talk one more time. How do you think this? Oh, sorry, I already had a timer set, but yeah, I thought it redid itself. So here's what I want you to turn and talk about. How did they figure out how many were on the team? First of all, how many are on the team based on this model? And how did they figure it out, do you think? What do you think they did to figure out the total that were on the team? Turn and talk to your neighbor. What do you think?
7 and 9.
How did you figure out how many were on the team? If you had that in front of
7,
you?
9 kids.
Would you count them? You said you were something about 7, didn't you?
Yeah.
You said 7.
7 is circle to 2. 9.
So did you count from 7? 7 is 8, 9. Okay, let's come back together. So first of all, how many people were on the team based on our model here that our friends made? How many were on the team?
9.
9. So we're going all the way out to 9. And so I asked you to talk about how do you think they figured out there were 9? What do you think they did? Yeah. I know. But how do you think they figured out there were 9? What could they do? Yeah.
I think they added the fingers on me.
Yeah. You think they could count them?
Yeah.
Let's try it. Y'all ready? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can we count them all? Did that work? Yeah. But could you share what you said you did to solve the problem?
We used 7 and 9. We counted from 7 to 9.
Okay, so do y'all hear what she's saying? She's saying she started at 7, and then she just said 8, 9. Ta-da! Problem solved. Look at that. You know what we call that when we start at a number we know and we count?
Number bonds.
Well, you can show it in a number bond for sure. But we call it counting on. Everybody say counting on. Counting on. So when we started at our 7 and we counted on to our next one, I want you to turn and talk to your neighbor. Remember the first time when y'all helped me count, we counted every one of them? And then we did it, what was your name, sweet pea? Isla. Then we did it Isla's way. We said 7, 8, 9. Turn and talk to your neighbor. Which was quicker and a little easier for us to do and why?
Counting from 7.
Why was that one quicker and easier to do? So she didn't really count the 7 though. She just said it's 7 and then 8 count, right? So she didn't have to count them. Good point. Yeah. All right, let's come back together. So what do you think? Which was quicker? To count every single one? Or to count, say 7, 8, 9?
7, 8.
Yes, I heard almost all of you talking about that, right? That it was quicker to do 7, 8, 9. So I have another solution for us to look at. Are you ready? So let's look at this one, if I can get it to turn. So you remember how we said when we circled that one, that those 2, we already talked about that the 2 represented the girls, the boys. I'm getting it backwards. Y'all keep me on straight, okay? That these were the boys and that this 7 were the girls. But look at this model. What's different about that than this last model? Here, if I can flip it back. See this? What they did? And then look at this one. What's different here than from the first model? Turn and tell your neighbor, what's different?
That they used it.
Okay, so come back to me. Who wants to tell me what's different? Who wants to tell me what they noticed was different about this model? What'd you guys come up with?
Well, the first one was on this side, and the second one is on this side.
Oh, but what do you think those circled ones represent? Yeah. The 2 boys. Do you think it's different? This is 2 boys?
Yeah.
And this is also 2 boys? Still represented? Can you do the 2 first? What do y'all think? Can you do the 2 first? Yeah, of course you can. So we have our 2 parts. We have our 2 and our 7. Here's what I want to know. This person said they also counted on. Like, is it Isla? Like Isla said 7, 8, 9. This person said they said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's how they said they counted on it, right? Can you do that? To get our 9?
Yeah.
And which way would you rather count on? I want you to talk to your neighbors. Would you rather start with 2 and count to 9? Or would you rather start at 7 and count to 9? Turn and tell your neighbor why you would rather do, which one you'd rather do and why.
I would rather do.
Yep. That's true. But could you do it the other way? Yeah, you had all the time. Yeah, for sure. So maybe next time when you see another one like that, you might do that. All right, let's come back together. So who wants to say what they thought? Which one would you rather do? Start at 2 and count 7 more? Or start at 7 and count 2 more? Do you guys mind sharing what you talked about back in your little group? What'd y'all say? He said he would start at 7 and count 2 more to 9. Can you tell me why you chose to do that? Is it mastery? But wait, does this way work? Absolutely. So could we start at the number that made it faster? And by the way, what makes it faster? What about the number? We had 7 and plus 2, right? We had our 7 and 2. What made it faster to start with 7 rather than starting with 2? Turn and talk to your neighbor. What made it faster? What's different about this number than this one that made it faster? Oh, we got about 2 minutes left.
That's pretty good.
What made it faster? Did you talk to your neighbor? What made it faster? 7 is what? Which one's bigger, 7 or 2? So does it take more or less time? Start with a smaller number, it's gonna take. Oh, I'm following you now. All right, let's come back together. So we said we would rather start at 7 than 2, but why would we rather start at 7 than 2? What's different about 7? Why would we want to start there? Y'all said it was faster, but why is it faster? Y'all mind sharing what y'all were talking about in the group? 7 is what?
7 less than is less than 7. 7 is less time than.
Okay, so you have less steps to make than if you're starting at 2. Absolutely. But 7 is what than 2?
More time.
More. It's bigger. Is 7 a bigger number than 2?
Yeah.
Would you rather have 7 lollipops or only 2? 7.
7.
Right, we want the bigger number. So if we start at the bigger number, it takes less time. So we have one more thing to look at in our pictures. Remember, part of our success criteria was to not only model it on your number, your number path, which you did, but also to show it in the number bond. And so this was kind of a refresher memory from kindergarten about what you know. So you guys told me that you had the 7 and you said 8, 9. Or you said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Either way, you counted on. Remember our new strategy that we could count on from one number to the next? But wait a minute. Why are the 7 and 2 here and the 9 here? What happened here with these two numbers? What do we call those? What happened to them? And how did they make 9? What did you do to that 7 and 2 to make 9? Turn and talk to your partner. How does this show that? Making of 9. What would you do to 7 and 2? You don't know what's the better 7 and 2. How did we make the 7 and 2 make 9? What did we do to those two numbers?
7 and 2
And 9. There you go. Put them together. So we're putting them together. We're making it the whole. Okay, so let's come back together. So how do these two numbers, the 7 and 2, help us figure out the 9? Go ahead.
Because 7 and 2 make 9, because 9 is bigger than both of them.
Oh, so when we have the bigger number, the number that makes both that are made from these two numbers, this was called the whole. Remember that from first kindergarten? That you had your whole, and the whole can be broken down into, you remember what they're called? Parts. Everybody say parts. Parts. So we have our whole and we have our parts. So on our number path, we had our part of 7, and we counted on 2 more to find 9. And somebody else took our part of 2 and counted on 7 to get 9. So you were able to take your 2 parts, go together to make your 9. Can you show me your movement you did? Remember what you did when I asked you what you do? Turn and show, stand up and show everybody what you just did. The 7 and 2, what'd you do with them? You see what she did? We put them together. So they put them together to make 9. Good job. Okay, sit down. So when we came together today, we were working on, oh, look, there y'all are. We were looking at what the 2 parts were that made our number, right? So in that last solution. So if you have the 2 parts, you're going to put them together to make 9 is what you told me. So when you're working on this later next week, I want you to think about what are my parts and what is my whole. But remember today, what we discovered while we were solving that addition problem is that you can count on. Turn and tell your neighbor one more time what counting on was. What did you discover that counting on was? And what should you do? Start with the bigger or the smaller number in mind? Turn and talk to your neighbor. What is counting on? So which number do you start with? You can do either one, but which would you start with? Bigger, she said. Did you say the bigger thing? Yeah. Okay, so let's come back together. You guys all told me that we discovered, that we can count on. And you guys told me, can you count from the 7? Can you count from the 2? Yeah, but you all told me you could do either one, but you could count, when you count from the bigger number, it takes less time. You guys did an awesome job today of solving our problem and meeting your success criteria. So what we have somewhere on here, we have an exit ticket. Do we have those? No. Yes.
Yeah.
Did I leave them in the room?
I think
Oh man, that's okay. We'll get them to you later.
You
This
want
is what
them?
it looks
You
like.
don't want,
I think I left them in the room.
you don't want them?
No.
Okay.
We'll bring them. We'll send them over. So what you guys are going to do, you'll get this little problem to solve, and it's asking you if there are 5 hats and 5 blue hats and 1 red hat. How many hats in all? And you're going to talk about counting on and what does that look like in your part whole number bond. And then 6 big books and 3 small books. How many books in all? And you're going to talk about your counting on there and then recording in the number bond. So we'll get that to you in just a second for you to do as your list. Okay. All right. If you would help me out here, go back